I took first place in Fargo Regional with Blue Eyes White Dragon. I think it's one of the best decks right now. Going against, it has a pretty good matchup against ABC coming up too as well. So the standard 3 Blue Eyes White Dragon, you have to play 3 in the build. It doesn't matter what type of build you're playing, you have to play 3. And then the standard 3 alternative dragon. Along with those, I'm playing 2 Dragon Spear White. Some people opt to play 3, but I like 2 because you can actually loop it around with Return of the Dragon Lords and also with Sage and Silver's Cry. So you don't not really need it at 3. Along with those, with also play the standard 3 Sage. And along with the standard 3 Sage is also the standard 3 Dragonstone White. And then with that you also play a standard Whitestone Legend. This is mostly run at 1 only because obviously it's searchable and it's a break hand if you play multiples. Hand trap wise I play along with that I play 1 Master. This has won me several games today. It's a really, really good card. In my final match, I actually ciphered his. It was a mirror match, and I ciphered his Twin Burst, and I actually mastered from the graveyard, sending it to the graveyard to summon my Dragon Spear White from the graveyard. This is a really good top deck card, especially if you normal that, and then add the Sage, and then summon another Blue Eyes from your deck. The standard double max C, obviously because it's semi-limited and it's too good at this format to not play. And then the 1 Veiler because it is searchable, and going this format with cards that can dodge your targets is really not good to play more than 1. It is searchable. You really use this against Magic Spectre. So. And the 2 Ghost Ogre. A lot of Blue Eyes build don't play this, but I do like the Ghost Ogre. Going against game 1 with Metal Foes and Pendulum deck, it really helps me. And the spells, I play the 1 Consonant. I like Consonants, but I don't like to see it that much because you actually cannot loop the small monsters as much as the big ones with the Stone of White. And then the triple trade-in. And then the 3 Return of the Dragon Lord, very standard. I only play 2 Twins Twister. Blue Eyes, I think Blue Eyes doesn't lose to back row that much because of the fact that you can loop the Dragon Spear White back and forth with the Return and the Silver Scribe, so you actually don't need it. And most deck at this format doesn't run back row anyway. Metal Fold back rows are really just the combinations and the counter, and the only back row deck is Magic Spectre. I do side a 3rd one, just in that case. I play 2 Desires. I've tried it at 3 before, and I really hate it at 3, especially when you desire into a 2nd Desire and then into a 3rd Desire, which is really stupid. So I like 2 Desires because this card you want to see the opening hand. Other than that, if you're already winning, you kind of don't want to see this. I play 2 Dragon Shrine. Most build opt to play 1, but I like it at 2 because it helps you, just like how Desire works, it helps you set up your opening hand. It fixes your opening hand so that you can actually trade in or have alternatives ready. And then the triple Melody Awakening Giant is really standard. I opt to play 1 Silver Cry because I don't like opening Silver Cry, especially when you don't have any graveyard target. So it can become a dead draw. The 1 Raigeki because I hate Jowgen and Vanity's Fiend. As of right now, my main deck has 0 out to it, and Raigeki is the only out to Jowgen and Vanity's Fiend. So if I don't play this, I will auto lose against Metal Foes. The one soul charge is limited. If I can play 3, if I can play more of this, I would. And I only play 1 trap, which is Vanity's Emptiness. I used to play Strike, but I hate opening Strike going to game 2, going turn 2. So Vanity's Emptiness is way better, as if you're only playing 1 trap. My side deck is the standard Galaxy Eyes. I actually opt to play both Photon and Cypher. I feel like if you don't go into one, if you don't go into one and you don't go into full armor, then full armor is a dead card in your extra deck. So if I play 2 targets, so if I go this and then 2 full armor, and then if I don't go into dark matter, I can go this and then dark matter. But those are my Galaxy targets.
You could probably make it on local news.
I play the Lancelot. It is a very clutch card, especially when you have in your opponent top deck. Lancelot will stop any play that they try to come back with. I play the Elsie. This card is really good, especially when you clear your opponent's board and you want them to start top decking. This card it kind of works like a Yatagarasu in a sense. The one Falgren, obviously I'm playing rank 8s, and it's one of the best rank 8 targets. And the standard Harbinger.
I'm kind of scared to side that.
I play 2 Dragon Spear White. I don't like it at 3. I like it at 2. Sometimes I never find myself wanting to go into the 3rd one at all, because you can actually loop this with Master. If it's in the graveyard, you can actually Master something into the graveyard to summon this back. I play for targets for the Spirit, 1 Azurize. I don't like it at 2. Standard. A lot of builds play this at 2, but I don't like it. Because I think if you go into Azurize, it's a really mediocre play to go with Spirit. And then the standard target of Lyco and Black Rose. I play Crystal Wing. If you have a Soul Charge turn 1, this card is just broken. You make this and Spirit and multiple Spirits. It's really hard for them to come back. And then the one card that I do Tekken is Nirvana. You can actually go into this. It is a generic rank 10. It only requires 1 tuner and 1 non-tuner synchro monster, which your target for non-tuner synchro are your Azure Eyes and your Blue Eyes Spirit. You can go into this, and then if they don't out it, you can tag out into Azure Eyes, and next turn drop a level 1 tuner and go into Nirvana. Its effect is that if it destroys a monster by battle, it will halve your opponent's life points. It is a really good card to OTK with. And also, going against Pendulum, if they somehow Pendulum summon a level 3 and leave it on board, I can Cypher it, and then go tag out into a Michael, banish something, synchro this, the level 3 Pendulum monster with Michael to go into this, and now we'll get its effect to add a 1 card from my graveyard back to my hand. For extra deck, this is mostly for BA. The standard BA side. I expected to go against a lot of BA, but I actually did not go against BA today. I played 1 BA Life Swarm, but I never used this. And also, this is actually it's an okay card for mirror matches. Not that great for mirror matches. I'd rather side rough panel for mirror matches, but extra deck is very tight. This format, there is no dominant deck, so there's a lot of depth running around. Topping side deck is really hard for this format. And then the Gamma Seals. This card is really good in Blue Eyes. You can actually trade in this too, and also out Spirits, out Herald and Minerva, and a lot of cards that you cannot target or just a pain to deal with when they get destroyed. Along with that, I do side a second Effect Veiler. I used to side 2 more, but I did opt to just cut it down to 1. It is searchable, so I don't think you need to run it at 3 or side 2 more in. And the standard Fable Cat Sith, so far Raigeki and this are my only outs of Vanities and Joggin. So you actually do need to side this. It is searchable by Sage as well. And Typhoons going against Metal Falls and Pendulum. It is actually a really good side card if you're going against Pendulum and Metal Falls. Most of the time they do opt to go first, and if you side these in, you can stop their scouts and scales. And also it also outs anti-spells if I do not draw a Twin Twister, along with Lightning Prisoning Mirrors. I do side in 2 Wing Blasts against mostly mirror matches and decks that, especially when my opponent realized that me going second is too powerful for my deck, because I do have my deck is built to go second, and so they opt me to go first, and that's when I side these in. These are really good opening if you're going first. And then the third Twin Twister, because Magic Spectre is running around, and also for rogue matches that plays a lot of back row. And then lastly, the 2 Lecter Pendulum Draco Overlord. This card is a skill drain for Magic Spectre. If you have this on board, Magic Spectre will not be able to search any of their cards. It will negate all the Magic Spectre, including Kirin. And Magic Spectre plays very little back row removal. Tempest cannot stop this because this is a spell. And Tornado does not target spell and trap. So if you have this on board, and because they have to treat with their monster off, if you put this on board and they pen on their back, they won't gain any more advantage. That is everything.
All right, thanks for that profile.
Grandmaster Thong.
Well played.
Oh my God.